Press the bell icon on your YouTube app and never miss another update.
So in this video we are going to talk about motherboard. That's the important component of your computer. Hello TechGeeks, welcome back to TechGeeks and I am Gaurav Verma. In this channel we talk about techy things and techy stuff. So if you are not subscribed to this channel yet, then please do consider subscribing to it. And now in this video we are going to talk about motherboard. What is that and what are the things over a motherboard, how it works, and we are going to talk a very basic thing about any motherboard, and I am going to tell you which part of motherboard does what. So rather wasting much time, let us get started with the motherboard. So basically this is the motherboard inside your CPU, or you can say the cabinet of your computer, and this is the circuitry. Actually the CPU is the central processing unit of your computer. That is the processor, either AMD or Intel. So that processor goes here, and this is the board that holds everything of your computer inside the cabinet that you are using, and these are the ports you use to connect your external devices like the monitor, the USB devices, the audio devices, keyboard and mice. And nowadays motherboards are changing a lot. You will be getting USB 3.0 port and onboard Wi-Fi and other things supported, and basically this is a motherboard. And now we will be zooming in over this motherboard and I will try to explain it. What does what, which part of this motherboard does what things. So let me zoom into this motherboard. So guys, this is our motherboard, and now let us start with describing which part of this motherboard does what. So this is the part that holds the processor, and that is this, and you open it like this and you put your processor here. Here is a mark somewhere, and you can match the mark with your processor and you can put this processor inside, and here is the mark, I hope, and you can basically match the mark with your processor and you can put the processor inside, and then you can close this like that, and then after you can put this back like this, and then you attach the fan over this board. So these are the holes for screwing up your fan. You can screw your fan with this board using these holes. Basically that is the heat sink that takes out the heat from the processor. And now this is the NOT bridge, and you might have heard about NOT bridge. This does is what it basically communicates with the high speed devices like RAM and the processor. So basically it is the bridge that makes the communication possible between the RAM and the processor. And now these are the RAM ports where you put in your RAM, and basically you can slide in the RAM, and then after you can clip it like this, and these clips will hold the RAM in place. You can see the difference between these two slots. This one is open and this one is closed. So these are the two ports provided for putting the RAM of your CPU, and these are the PCIe ports. Basically these allow you to extend the power of your CPU, the power of your motherboard. Using these ports you can add graphics card and other things to your CPU. And these are the SATA ports where you can basically connect your CD drive, hard drive, and these are the SATA cables that you use to connect your hard drive and CD drive. So basically it clips in very easily, and you can just put in like this, and basically that is done. And now you can connect your CD drive, DVD drive or hard drive with this. And now this is the Intel graphics, onboard Intel graphics. Here is the chip for Intel graphics. So I can remove this heat sink and show you the Intel graphics chipset. So let me remove it. So now I hope you can see the chipset, that is the Intel graphics chipset. And then after, this is the 20-pin connector using which you can power this motherboard from the SMPS. So if you do not know about SMPS, then you can check my last video on SMPS, and here use the 4-pin power connector of the SMPS to power the motherboard. So basically there are 2 power cables going into this motherboard. You can see it is in red color. You use to connect the hard drives, DVD drives using these ports. Nowadays we are using SATA ports for connecting our external devices like hard drive and DVD drive, and then after this is the CMOS battery. So what CMOS battery does is it keeps the clock running inside your CPU whenever you turn off your CPU and disconnect from power, so that the time remains accurate and you do not miss a tick of a clock, because CMOS battery is powering the clock of your CPUs. So now these are the things of a motherboard, and this is the south bridge. So I hope you can see it is in the corner, and this does is what it allows the processor or the CPU to communicate with the slower devices like the CD drive, DVD drive, hard drive and USB drives and other drives of your computer, and basically it is the bridge between the processor and the other devices that are slower. And this is the north bridge. This is the bridge between the fastest devices like the RAM, cache and other things. So basically this is the thing over any motherboard circuitry, and these are the capacitors, and this is all. And there is somewhere, yes, I think this is the audio chip that controls the audio of your CPU of your computer, and this is the thing that processes that audio before you hear that audio. And now let us move to the side. So basically these are the pins that you use to add the external USB port that are on the front panel of your cabinet, and also it allows you to connect the reset button and power button and reset LED and power LEDs with the motherboard, so that you can use those buttons and bulbs that are LED bulbs to understand if your PC is running, if your hard disk is working properly, and you can boot in the PC and you can do the things, basically the controls of that CPU or that computer, basically those control buttons. And now let us move to the rear view of this motherboard, what you see on the rear side or the back side of your cabinet. So let me rotate this motherboard for that. And now after rotating, I hope you can see here are many ports. And now, so let me explain. This is the Ethernet port. It is above everything, and then after USB ports, and then after audio in and audio out, and here is the display port. And nowadays in newer models of motherboard you can find HDMI port and other ports, USB 3.0, and this is the keyboard and mouse connection port. So nowadays we do not need this kind of port because we are using USB mouse and USB keyboard, so it is not necessary for us to have a port for connecting keyboard and mice, because nowadays everything is going wireless and also using USB ports. And also you may find USB-C ports on newer motherboards that allow to connect USB-C devices with the motherboard. So these are the basic things of a motherboard, and these are the holes using which you screw the motherboard with the cabinet. And as you can see, it allows to draw out the extra electricity from the board. That's why sometimes you might have seen while using your cabinet, if you touch your cabinet and you get a small electric shock if you do not have a good earth. So this is because these screws draw out the electricity from the board, so that the electricity does not impact the onboard elements and your motherboard doesn't get destroyed by the electricity. So now let us pick this board up and let me show you clearly. So now as you can see, sorry for my shaky hands, and as you can see, these are the audio in out ports. These are 2 USB ports, there are 2 more, and this is the port for monitor, and this is also a display port. Basically these 2 are used for display components, and this is for pin based printers that were ribbon printers. In earlier days we used to have a ribbon printer that was connected using this port. And also this is the speaker that makes the sound if your CPU has any kind of error like RAM failure and other things. And these are the keyboard and mouse in out ports. So this is it. This is all about this motherboard. So techies, I hope you found this video helpful and interesting, and if you found this video helpful and interesting, then why not like this video and also share with your friends, and do subscribe to this channel, because your subscription will help this channel running properly and grow this channel so that I can bring more interesting and techy videos for you guys. And now this was all for this video guys. I'll be checking out now, so have a great day ahead. I'll see you in next tech video. Bye bye and see ya.